Today, I have an important topic to talk to you guys about, and this is, I would say, on my channel, the number one weapon that I have used to become the best kind of person I can be, and the one that I continue to use every single day to continue to improve myself day in and day out. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Must Become YouTube channel. My name is Spencer, and I believe that what you can become, you must become. That means if you guys have the potential within you, it's absolutely imperative that you use that potential to make yourself into something great. Today, I have an important topic to talk to you guys about, and this is, I would say, on my channel, the number one weapon that I have used to become the best kind of person I can be, and the one that I continue to use every single day to continue to improve myself day in and day out. This is called self-reinforced messaging. This is so important because your brain is wired to become more and more and more like the people around you, like the environment around you. It's been shown to us time and time again that the environments, both, like I said, socially or physically, that we spend time in really will mold us as a person. So it's super important to use that environment to make yourself into something that you intend to become. To start off, let me give you a little example about how important environment is to adopting habits or becoming a certain kind of person. In the Vietnam War, a lot of Americans that went over to Vietnam to fight in the war actually became addicted to heroin. The estimation was something that just under 50% of all troops tried opioids or heroin or something of the sort or something similar while they were fighting in Vietnam. However, when they came back to America, only 7% of people who actually got addicted to heroin while overseas came back and stayed addicted. Now, this is a really, really important topic because this shows us that even something as addictive as heroin, something that's widely considered to be the most addictive substance on the planet, their environment, once they came back to the US, they were no longer addicted to the substance. So what does this show us? This does show us that environment has a huge impact on who we are, but not just that. It also shows us that if we want to become something very specific, like I advocate for on this channel, that we can use our environment very specifically to become that person, to instill new great habits or to break really bad old ones. So let's talk about exactly how I think that we should use this to our own advantage. You've already heard about how if you surround yourself with 5 people, you'll become the 6th version of those people. You become the average of the 5 people you spend time with. So let's think about this for a second, okay? If all your friends are pot smokers, everyone smokes weed every single day, that's what they do. They wake up, they smoke weed, they play their video games, they jerk off, they go to bed, that's what they do. And that's the 5 people that you spend time with, you're gonna be the 6th. But if the 5 people you spend time with are hardworking, dedicated, motivated, they wanna build a business, or they just wanna do something great with their life, you're gonna be the 6th. Now, most people take that information and they think, okay, I gotta go find myself 5 entrepreneurs or 5 hardworking business people, or whatever it is, 5 athletes, 5 Olympians, whatever it is you want to do. They think they got to find those people, and that's amazing if you do. That's amazing if you can put yourself in those environments. But there's actually a trick that you can use, which is the topic of this video, to make it more of a virtual immersion with these people. Now, that is the self-reinforced environment or self-reinforced messaging. Now, the first step to really using this to your advantage is choosing the kind of person you want to be. So like I mentioned, do you want to be an Olympian? Do you want to be an athlete? Do you want to be absolutely jacked or shredded? Do you want to be a business person? Do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be an amazing editor, an amazing musician? What do you want to be? Any one of those things. You can choose any single one, and you're going to use self-reinforced messaging to actually get you to that place. So once you've chosen exactly what you want to be, you want to begin to take steps to reinforce this. So the way you do that is by intentionally immersing yourself in certain things and reinforcing messages of certain kinds that are very similar to the person you want to be. You can use podcasts, you can use books, you can use YouTube channels like this one. If you really want to become the kind of thing that I'm advocating for, then I would recommend you listen to my content and rewatch my content all the time. Now, personally, this is what I've done. This is the way I found this kind of trick out. And I know a lot of people might be speaking about this, but this is how I found it out personally. I'm lucky enough that in my apartment, I got a infrared sauna installed. And if you've watched some of my other videos, you may have seen that I've spoken about this once or twice. I have an infrared sauna, and I get in it after my workouts, normally in the evening. I get in it and I just kind of relax. I chill out. Now, the way I set this up is because it has a Bluetooth speaker, so while I'm actually in the sauna, I can hear things from outside if I connect to Bluetooth. So I'll connect my phone or my computer or whatever. What I'll do generally if I use my laptop is I have a bookshelf right in front of it, and I'll sit my computer on that bookshelf so I can see right through this glass panel in my sauna. I can see this laptop. Now, I will queue about 15 different videos, and I'll put it on 2 times speed, sometimes 2.5 times speed, a really, really fast speed, but on YouTube. I'll put it on this fast speed, and I'll queue all of these different videos, and these videos are not necessarily things to entertain me. In fact, they're never things to entertain me. They're never things like a video game that I used to like to play or videos of hot girls or whatever. It's never any of that stuff. It's never comedy. It's never any of it. It's always stuff specifically that I want to learn or that I want to reinforce in my brain. So I'll watch a lot of the kinds of things that I talk about on this channel, a lot of business people. I'll watch a lot of different stuff that's either educational or specifically reinforcing of a certain kind of message. So if I'm feeling kind of, not that motivated today, which I've spoken about in other videos, motivation versus discipline. I do think motivation has its place, but when I don't feel motivated, I will watch these videos while I'm in the sauna, just kind of relaxing right before I go to bed. And I'll watch these videos and I'll make sure that every single one of them is reinforcing exactly who I want to be. So I'll have some things queued up about maybe gender dynamics, some things about fitness, some things about general kind of neuroscience, some things about business. And then inside the sauna, if you guys ever happen to do this yourself, if you're lucky enough to have a sauna yourself, what I'll do is I have a little notepad in there and I have a little pen. And any single time that a really, really good idea is said, I'll write that idea down. Now, I'll take that outside of the sauna and I'll leave it sitting on my bookshelf. And so whenever I pass it, I see that message. But that's kind of a more advanced tactic. The really first thing that you want to do is just make sure that you're immersing yourself in this content. So another way that I do this is when I'm working out, I have this little iPod. I don't have it on me right now, but I have this little iPod and it's specifically not my phone. And the only thing on this iPod is stuff that I want to learn or stuff that I want to reinforce. So I'll plug that in while I'm working out. And people don't realize if your workout's an hour, you do cardio for 45 minutes or whatever it is, that's an hour or 45 minutes that you could be reinforcing something to yourself, right? Where I play these things and it's just messages that I want to remember or someone that I want to be like. It's kind of like using like manifestation or visualization where you're thinking about who you want to be and you're trying to make this mental image in your mind and you're trying to associate with this mental image as often and as much as you can so that in reality you become to be more like this. It's kind of just like that, except I'm taking not necessarily my own affirmations, things that I'm saying to myself, but things and people that I want to be like. And it's just so powerful because you can expand this to so many different areas. You could put up posters of instead of a hot girl leaning on a Lamborghini, unless that, that's something for your visualization or manifestation or dream board or whatever that you use. I don't personally do that. You could have a poster of someone that says a quote that's exactly the way you want to be. That's another key. And I've mentioned this a couple times, but I hope you guys have picked up on this, is that it's not necessarily where you are. In fact, it's generally not where you are. It's who and where you want to be. And you self-reinforce because they say you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with, right? Like I mentioned, but not every single one of these people need to be physical, real people. Or they can be, but you interact with them virtually. Because if you're reading a book and you're reading an autobiography, let's say of Jeff Bezos or Branson, one of these amazing people, assuming you're a business person or want to be a business person, when you're reading these books, you're spending time with these people. You're spending time associating and getting to know these people in a way where you can then begin to understand their journey. And when you do so, then you can begin to see how your journey can begin to match up. There's this interesting phenomenon where when you're solving a problem, it's not always about taking your active brain and solving the problem. It's more so about having maybe 100 exposures to a certain kind of problem that's very similar. And then when you come across that in your own life, which might be the same thing that's just a little bit of a different flavor, a little bit of a different color, your brain is automatically able to be like, oh, here's the solution. A lot of the people who watch my channel are young men. And so you guys know, if you guys have girlfriends or wives or whatever, oftentimes your girlfriend or your wife will come to you and she'll explain a problem to you. Later on down the road, you'll find out, oh, she just wants you to listen or what have you, right? But your first instinct is to see all the problems. She'll say, oh, I did X, I did Y, I did X, I did Y. And you can just think, well, why did you do it like that? Do it like this instead, or go say this, or go do that. You see the solution. And the reason why is because you've encountered other problems like this where you were able to just solve it, done. And so that's what your brain wants to do. Your brain wants to just associate, it can map that on. It can map the solution onto the problem that's being presented to you. And it's that same thing. The more you can reinforce messages in your brain, it's kind of like when and I've had this recently, I wanted to play my former favorite video game. I wanted to play it so much, because I'm just like you guys, right? Where we all have our things that we want to do. We have our addictions. There's things that hold us back from being the person that we must become. And I remember seeing that, and then I can remember watching so much content and listening to so much content, reading so much content about habits and about desires and about wanting to, and knowing that I know that right now in my brain, I know that my brain is neurochemically it's addicted to this thing. I've thought about playing these video games or watching these fucking naked ladies online, whatever it is, right? You're neurologically addicted to these things and your brain neurochemically is hooked on these things. And because I was aware of that, because I've reinforced so many messages to myself about the way habits work, the way addictions work, the way all these things work that are holding you back from becoming truly, truly, truly optimized, if that's what you want to become, as soon as I realized that was what was happening, I was able to map the solution onto that problem, which was just, oh yeah, okay, do X, do Y. This will help me avert that issue. If you want to hear more about how I specifically avert certain issues and specific desires that I really want to avoid, I can make that in another video. Like always, just leave a comment and I'll let you guys know. But the main point here, guys, is self-reinforced messaging. It's so important. Final reason really why it's so great is because when you're motivated to make self-reinforced messaging, right? So when you're motivated to, like for me, when I download onto my iPod, it takes me probably about 2 hours. I take things from YouTube, or I take things from various areas, and I find a way to get them onto this little iPod. And I use it when I'm working out, when I'm walking, when I'm doing whatever it is, when I'm working at my desk, in the office, whatever, right? When I'm doing any of these things, it takes motivation to do that. Like sitting down for 2 hours and doing that takes time. It takes motivation to, before I get into the sauna, I just want to get in and just relax after my long day of working here in the office. I just want to relax, but what I do is I go and I sort through all of these YouTube videos and I queue them all up, which might not sound like a big deal, but when you're done at the end of the day, you just want to get into the sauna or get into whatever, your bath, your shower, whatever. I queue all those things up. But the nice thing is that this is called motivation carryover. So what's happening is because you're motivated to do this, and what you're investing your motivation in is actually building a source for future motivation, it's this carryover, it's this flywheel where you're motivated, which gets you to do things, which will then push you to be motivated later, which will again get you motivated, so on and so forth, continue. It's so beautiful. So when you guys are motivated and you guys are really on your shit, I have other videos about getting on the train and staying on the train, right? Go back and watch those to see exactly what I'm talking about. The beautiful thing is that when you're on the train and you use your time and your motivation to build the infrastructure to self-reinforce these messages that you want to be, this person that you want to be, that becomes more and more true. And you may not see it in the day-to-day, but if you zoom out and take an average over the last, let's say, year, and you say, holy shit, I've worked so much more than I ever expected. I've hit the gym so much harder than I ever expected. I've been all of these things, doing these great things, moving forward to the direction you want to go. You'll see that self-reinforced messaging was such a big part of it. So guys, I recommend not wasting your time. Again, this might sound like a controversial opinion. There's a lot of controversial opinions on this channel. I recommend not wasting your time with entertainment that often. Or if you do, be careful that you've chosen to be entertained. Take the time that you would normally be listening to music or some funny comedy podcast or playing a game or whatever it is, and take that time, and you can still be, I guess, entertained in a sense that what you're listening to, you feel good that it's contributing to your future and your future goals and your future success. Take that time and really recognize that if you can invest in your self-reinforced messaging by either creating a system that'll allow you to continue to explore that material, or just listening to that material or reading that material right then and there, that right there is building you into the person you want to be. And every single time you do that, every single time, it's not just a win for right now, but it's also a win for the future. So it doubles down. It's that motivation carryover like I spoke about. It's so essential. So again, guys, self-reinforced messaging. I wish, and I say this in so many videos, but then again, that was the point of this channel, to share with you guys things that I wish I knew when I was younger to bring me to become as good of a person as I can be. But I wish I knew this one earlier. I wish I knew that if I just took the time to find the books that actually were going to help me become the person I wanted to be, and then read them religiously, read these things, like read these books. Listen to these podcasts, watch these channels, even this one. Even if you've seen this video 100 times, there are some channels, which I'm happy to share with you, that I've seen one video 200 times. The same video, it'll be 15, 20, 30, 40-minute video that I've seen 200 times. And I do that intentionally because half the time, I may have mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. When I'm in the sauna and I queue those videos up, I would say a solid 15% of those videos, so not all the time I explore new content, are videos I've seen before. I do that again just to really, because it's just like reading a book a second time, right? Where you get new information from it and you see different things because again, you already have this foundation of what the meaning of the whole video is. But then you get to pick out these little specifics that begin to stick out to you, and those are the things that really begin to give you nuggets of wisdom. So again, reinforce your messaging, know exactly what you want to learn and who you want to be, and then choose people in your digital kind of virtual environment, those 5 people, choose them, and then you can listen to them religiously. Again, I'm biased. I would choose this channel because, guys, all that I want to do is continue to give you this content, which will give you tips, tricks, hacks, whatever, all of that stuff, but also real life experience of someone who's been doing this, who's been grinding to a point where things are beginning to come around in a way that I want to share with my audience. I'm making the exact kind of content that I wish I had when I was doing more of that self-reinforced messaging. So, guys, I hope you can use this content for your benefit. I hope you watch as much of this content as possible, not just for me and to help me spread my message to other people who could be helped, but for you, because this is the kind of thing, if you're the kind of person that wants to be like this, then this is super, super valuable right now, right here, right now. So guys, if you like what I've said today, please give me a like. It lets the algorithm know that it should be pushed out to more people and help more people out there. Please subscribe to my channel. Again, self-reinforced messaging. If you subscribe to this channel, you won't miss a video, and that video will be able to help you, again, move you forward into the future. And finally, if you have any questions or any recommendations of what you'd like to see in your self-reinforced messaging, please leave me a comment down below, because I respond to every single comment and I take your recommendations seriously. In fact, the next videos that I'm making are specifically going to be videos that were requested on either this channel or on TikTok, but look out for those, guys. Anyway, my name is Spencer from the Must Become YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.